So you're interested in getting into Earth 2, but you're not exactly sure how to get things going. Well, obviously it's going to start with purchasing some land, but how do the finances work? How do you get money in? More importantly, how do I get money out? Well, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly that, show you where to go, and show you a couple of different options that you have depending upon what you want to do. What's going on, Earth 2 novice enthusiasts and everyone in between? Welcome to another episode of Earth 2 News, where we discuss everything Earth 2. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news, strategies, giveaways, and events, make sure you are subscribed and you've got those alert notifications on. You're also going to want to check out the links in the show notes so you can learn how to win money and land in my weekly giveaways, as well as subscribe to my newsletter so you can get exclusive information before it even makes it into an episode. And if you're new to Earth 2, you're definitely going to want to check out my playlist that is dedicated to Earth 2 noobs and has a bunch of different videos that will help you understand what's happened, what's going on, and what to do next so you can skip mistakes and fast track your success. You're also going to want to make sure you're watching this on Earth 2 News. That is my channel that is dedicated to Earth 2 content. I have exclusive content on there. That's where my episodes premiere first, and that is the only channel on which I go live so we can interact. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this is part of a series I made specifically for people who are new to Earth 2, so you're able to get caught up. Or maybe you've been playing with Earth 2 for a while, but you haven't been staying up to date with all of the recent announcements, or maybe you just want to hear my take on what I've seen and what I think is coming up. In any case, you're going to want to make sure you check out the rest of the playlist on my YouTube. I'm also going to have a podcast series. To find the playlist, there might be a link popping up in the corner, or you can check the show notes for a link, or just search my channel. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump into today's episode. All right, now the first thing we want to figure out is how we're going to get money, and it's actually pretty simple. There's a couple of different options, and I'll kind of explain what to do and some other little details that you might want to consider. But first, let's log into our account and head over to the settings section. That's better. Now, as you can see, there's going to be a drop down in the top right section of the menu, and that's where you're going to see settings. Now, it might not be the most intuitive title for a section that has to deal with finances. That is what it's called. So drop down settings, and as you can see, we've got my profile here, and we've got a couple of different things that we can see. We see my balance. Obviously, I blocked out all the sensitive information, and you're definitely going to want to make sure that you turn on your two-factor authentication and don't share any pertinent information about your account that could give someone access to it. This should be treated just like a bank account or cryptocurrency, because this is definitely going to only grow in value as time passes. Now, if you look just to the right of my profile picture, you'll see a little Easter egg. That's actually the Easter egg that I won. It's an NFT that they gave away during the first ever Easter egg hunt back in the beginning of 2021. I'm very proud to have won that. I'm very excited to actually get the NFT. Right now, it's kind of a placeholder, but they are going to be actually giving us the NFTs pretty soon. And that's obviously going to be coming with a wallet to store it in and cryptocurrency. So that's just a hint of what Earth 2 has to come, among many other things. But getting back to adding funds. So one of the ways that we can add funds to our account is basically by adding credits to our account. That'd be a situation where you'd want to put money in, or credits, so you have some money in your Earth 2 account and you can make purchases in the future, kind of like preloading a debit card. It's a pretty simple process. If you see those two green arrows right below the American flag, one is pointing to a box where you put in how much money you'd like to invest into your Earth 2 account. Again, this will just be sitting in the account, and from there you can make purchases later. And then the button below where that second lower arrow is pointing, that's where you're going to put in your credit or debit card information. Now, there is another option for getting money into Earth 2, making direct purchases from your card. I'll show you that in a moment. But while we're in the settings section, I want to show you how to withdraw funds to your card. Now, if you look just to the right of the section we were looking at and actually scroll down a little bit, you can see the withdraw to card section. And as you can see in parentheses, it's indicating that it's still in the trial period. What this actually allows you to do is withdraw money directly to a credit or debit card. Now, this is a newer option. This is actually something I've only seen Earth 2 do, but essentially any balance that you have in your account, and don't confuse your balance with your land value, this would be liquid funds that you have in your account, you are able to send to a credit or debit card. As you can see just below that paragraph or two that describes the fees and the process, process. I have a card on file. That's my MasterCard that I use for Earth 2, and I have completed one withdrawal to my credit card so far. Now, the other options that existed before this are a transfer to your bank or a transfer to a company called TransferWise. At least they used to be called TransferWise. Now they're just going by the name Wise. And that basically acts as a bank. If you're an international customer, the Wise transfer might be an easier transfer for you. But if you're in the US, you have the option to transferring it right to your bank account. The way you do this is by contacting credits at earth2.io, and they'll walk you through that process. Now, this is a more manual process. It takes a bit longer, so it's always recommended that you do the withdrawal to card if you can. But if not, this is still a method that will help you get your funds out of Earth2 if you need to. TransferWise, again, acts just like a bank account, so you'd essentially wire the money to your TransferWise account or Wise account. I'm still in the habit of calling them TransferWise. You set up an account with them, and again, I've got a link to Wise. It's a referral link that will give you free transfers for up to $600 if you use my referral code. So definitely check that out if that's a route that you want to take instead of sending it to your card or your bank. And then another option is going to be signing up for a Revolut account. Now, Revolut is basically a online debit card that you'd be able to use. And a final option, if you can apply for it, is the Earth2 MasterCard. Now, that process would also be similar to the withdrawal to card process, just like the Revolut option would be. So really your options boil down to some sort of withdrawal to card process, whether it's your existing cards, debit or credit, a Revolut debit card, or your Earth2 MasterCard, or wiring it to a bank. As I said, that'll take longer, whether you use your own bank account or a Wise account. Again, link in the show notes below. Might as well use it and get free transfers for up to $600. Again, it's going to take a bit longer, substantially longer, whereas the transfer to card will probably take a few hours. It could easily take a few weeks doing the wire transfer. Again, it is a manual process that they have to do on their side. It is much faster than it's been in the past, but it still does take way longer than just a few hours. So the transfer to card is always the favorite option. And now, as I mentioned before, I'll tell you the other option that allows you to get money into Earth2, and that's when you're actually making the purchase. So in this scenario, I've already selected the land I wanted to purchase. I went to the checkout process, and as you can see right now, I'm going through the payment process. This would be where I put in the promo code, as you see illustrated right under payment, where I said referral code goes here. That's where you'd put in my referral code. Again, when you use my referral code, not only will you get 5% back, as you can see in the green font just below, you're getting 5% back on that purchase, but you can also take a screenshot of that purchase once it's gone through, send that screenshot to myearth2news@gmail.com, and I will enter you into my weekly land giveaway, where all the land that I purchased for that week from that account will be given away to a lucky winner. So I highly suggest you use my referral code. Take a screenshot. Every single one of the purchases is another entry, so go ahead and use it, and make sure you send those screenshots to myearth2news@gmail.com. Now, some other details I want to mention. Number one, make sure that when you've put that referral code in, hit apply and make sure it updates. You're going to want to make sure it shows you your cashback amount, because that's going to be going back into your account, that 5%. Again, make sure you hit apply. Make sure that that new code that you put in, not a default code or some other random code that might not be valid, make sure you hit apply and that new code, my code that you just put in, is being applied. You can also, as you can see right below that, if you wanted to send some property to a friend or anybody as a gift, this is what I do very often to the winners, is I'll purchase some land, and as I'm purchasing it, I'll create a gift and I can send it to their account directly. And then some other things, if you look off to the left, your purchase. Now, this is where you can change and give this land a nickname, and you can actually change what the location is. So maybe it's a foreign country and you just want to simplify it. Instead of it being, a long name, you just want to call it France or whatever, just to simplify it for your archives later when you're going through them. And you can also give it a nickname. In the description bar, the one above is the one where I would probably more often than not just edit that. I leave the location alone when I edit mine, I'll just edit the description so I know that it's, Eiffel Tower instead of whatever the random geographic name is going to be and description is going to be. And obviously below that, I'd leave it as Paris, France. You can do this later, but I find it's a lot easier to make these edits when you're making the purchase, especially when you're purchasing maybe a sentimental piece of property or something else. The description isn't going to fit what you refer to it as, and it's a lot easier to sometimes give it that nickname or description that is unique to you and how you're going to remember it. Again, imagine your portfolio has hundreds or thousands of properties in it. You're going to want to make sure it's very easy for you to find exactly what you're looking for. You can also edit this name and description and everything else later on. So when you go to sell the property, if that's ever an event, you could also make it something that's more mainstream so people understand what it is, not the nickname that you gave it. But this is often an overlooked detail that a lot of noobs don't get. So I want to make sure that you understand it and you see how to do it in case you want to in the future. And that's it. Pretty simple, right? So there's a couple of different ways to get money in. I also gave you a handful of ways to get money out. Hopefully that clarifies things. If you have any other questions related to that, feel free to let me know. I've got a link below where you can not only sign up for my referral raffle, where I will use your referral code to make my purchases if you're the winner that I select, but you can also reach out to me. You'll be signed up to my newsletter as well, and you can shoot me one-off questions there. I try to get to all the questions and comments in the comment section, but more often than not, the best way to get a question answered, if it's not answered in any of my videos, is to sign up for that form below that, number one, enters you into that raffle, but also enters you into the newsletter and will send you a welcome email with some information, some tips, and some secret stuff that I give exclusively to my subscribers. Speaking of subscribing, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I want to make sure that you're watching this on Earth 2 News. That's my channel that is dedicated to Earth 2 content. Make sure you have those alert notifications on so you don't miss out on any of my new content, and make sure you give this video a like if you found it useful. Until my next episode, I look forward to helping you find your way around Earth 2.